In the endless night of the 41st millennium, where a billion souls scream across the void, a rare kind of being walks a razor-thin line between miracle and madness, the Psykers. Their story does not begin with glory or power, but with a spark, a whisper in the mind that should not exist. A child somewhere on a distant hive world suddenly sees visions of events that have not happened yet. A miner deep beneath a planet's surface unintentionally hurls metal aside with a single terrified thought. A solitary voice echoes through the warp, and something ancient answers. Psykers are not born into safety, they are born into danger. Their minds serve as fragile bridges to the warp, a swirling ocean of raw energy, emotion, and nightmares where even a single stray thought can attract horrors older than mankind itself. In this universe, mind and reality bleed together, and that connection can turn an ordinary person into a beacon of unimaginable power, or a doorway for something monstrous. As this dark truth unfolds, the question becomes unavoidable: are Psykers humanity's last hope, or its greatest curse? Some can whisper into distant minds, bending truth and memory. Others can twist metal, ignite entire battlefields with blazing psychic fire, or tear open the fabric of reality itself. But for every miracle, there is a price. Warp predators prowl the edges of consciousness, demons hungrily waiting for a single moment of weakness, one slip, one fear, one uncontrolled surge of power, and the door swings open. These horrors don't just kill, they consume, corrupt, and reshape flesh and spirit into something grotesque. Even if a Psyker survives the warp's pull, they cannot escape the weight of humanity's fear. To the Imperium, the power of a Psyker is too dangerous to trust, too valuable to ignore, and too unpredictable to leave unregulated. Across the galaxy, black ships glide through the void like silent reapers, gathering thousands of Psykers every year. Most will never return. Their minds will be sacrificed to keep the Astronomicon burning, fueling the psychic beacon that guides humanity through the stars. A handful will endure brutal tests and emerge as sanctioned Psykers, forced to serve on battlefields, in interrogation chambers, and within the darkest corners of Imperial rule. Yet for all the terror and control surrounding them, Psykers remain essential. In the vast, hollow darkness of the 41st millennium, where alien races twist reality in ways humans can barely comprehend, psychic power is both a weapon and a warning. The Aeldari shape fate with precision and grace, the Orks unleash chaotic energy fueled purely by belief, and shadows in the warp devour worlds with a quiet, monstrous hunger. And so the Hook tightens. In a galaxy drowning in war and nightmares, Psykers stand at the center of everything. They are the miracle that saves worlds, and the catastrophe that destroys them. Across the sprawling planets of the Imperium, Psykers emerge without warning, born not from lineage or training, but from the unpredictable tides of the warp. Their birth is not marked by signs of greatness but by strange disturbances, flickering lights, sudden cold, whispered voices that no one else can hear. A child may cry at shadows that move without form, an old man may wake screaming after seeing a future that has not yet happened. Psykers are the result of humanity's slow psychic evolution, a dangerous gift tied directly to the immaterium, a realm of raw thought and emotion that gave birth to gods, demons, and nightmares without name. Most Psykers do not understand what they are. Their abilities manifest suddenly and violently. A telepath might hear 1,000 thoughts at once until he collapses, bleeding from the ears. A frightened teenager might repel attackers with a psychic blast that tears flesh from bone. In remote settlements, such incidents are seen as curses, witchcraft, or the touch of something unholy. But to the Imperium, this is not superstition, this is a threat and a resource. The most tragic part is that Psykers never asked for their power. They inherit a connection to the warp they cannot sever. Every emotion they feel ripples across the immaterium, attracting things that hunger for their minds. With each passing year, more Psykers are born, and with them, more instability. For humanity, this surge is both a sign of evolution, and a warning of extinction. The psychic abilities of Psykers are as varied as the stars themselves. No two Psykers manifest power in the same way, and no two minds touch the warp identically. Their strength depends on talent, discipline, and the unpredictable whims of the Imperium. Some abilities are subtle, barely noticeable unless one knows what to look for. Others are catastrophic, capable of reshaping entire battlefields with a single thought. Telepaths can slip into the minds of others, reading memories, uncovering secrets, or planting thoughts like seeds that grow into actions. Telekines can bend the physical world to their will, manipulating matter with invisible force, lifting tanks, crushing bones, or forming invisible shields against bullets and explosions. Biomancers can manipulate flesh and life, healing wounds or mutating themselves into fearsome, monstrous forms. Pyromancers draw raw energy from the warp and transform it into blazing psychic fire hotter than any natural flame. Then there are diviners, those who glimpse fragments of the future or see countless possible outcomes branching like rivers through time. Their visions are unreliable, distorted by the warp's chaotic nature, but even a broken prophecy can shift the course of a campaign or save an entire world. But psychic power comes with a cost. Every ability strains the mind, every surge of energy risks tearing open a breach to the warp. The stronger the power, the greater the risk. Psykers stand on the edge of something godlike, and something damnable. Their gifts are miracles, but every miracle threatens to become a disaster. To wield psychic power is to dance on the edge of madness. Every Psyker carries within them a door, a fragile, trembling gateway through which the warp can seep. And on the other side of that door are things that should never touch reality. Demons are not merely monsters, they are living embodiments of emotion, hunger, rage, despair, and desire. They lurk in the Imperium like predators stalking wounded prey, and Psykers shine like beacons, drawing them closer with every heartbeat. One moment of weakness is all it takes. A Psyker overwhelmed by fear or exhaustion may lose control, allowing the warp to surge through them. Sometimes the result is instantaneous death, brains liquefying, bodies exploding in showers of light and blood. Other times, something far worse happens: possession. A demon slips into the Psyker's mind, warping flesh and twisting bone until the human becomes nothing more than a puppet for the creature inside. Such horrors can wipe out entire regiments before they are finally destroyed. Even those who avoid possession suffer. Nightmares claw at their sanity. Voices whisper constantly, promising power, freedom, or salvation. Visions of impossible futures and forgotten pasts bleed into their waking sight. Every use of their ability risks drawing the gaze of something hostile. The Imperium knows this all too well. Their fear is justified, for a single uncontrolled Psyker can unleash destruction equal to a nuclear blast. It is no exaggeration to say that Psykers are humanity's greatest danger. Their power is immense, but the price they pay is everything. To the Imperium of man, Psykers are both a vital necessity and an existential threat. Their power is indispensable for communication, warfare, and navigating the warp, but their instability makes them potential world-ending catastrophes. To manage this danger, the Adeptus Astra Telepathica dispatches the Black Ships, massive, grim vessels whose sole purpose is to hunt, collect, and transport Psykers back to Terra. The arrival of a Black Ship is a moment of dread. Planetary governments scramble to gather anyone suspected of psychic potential. Families hide their loved ones, fearing what awaits them. Soldiers drag screaming Psykers from their homes, while sanctioned Psykers detect and expose those who attempt to flee. Tens of thousands are loaded into the holds of the Black Ships, many blindfolded or shackled with null restraints that suppress their powers. The journey is a nightmare. The warp presses against the minds of the untrained Psykers, driving many into madness or death long before reaching Terra. Those who survive are subjected to brutal tests. The vast majority are deemed too dangerous or too unstable, and they are sacrificed to the Golden Throne, their life force feeding the Emperor's Astronomicon, the beacon that guides humanity's ships through the stars. A small fraction prove strong enough to endure training. These individuals become sanctioned Psykers, astropaths, battle Psykers, interrogators, or servants of the Inquisition. Their lives are harsh, their loyalty enforced by fear and pain. But they are alive, and in the Imperium, survival itself is a rare privilege. Those Psykers who survive their trials and training become some of the Imperium's most valuable yet controlled assets. They are no longer frightened novices but sharpened weapons, forged through suffering and conditioned to resist the predations of the warp. Among them are Primaris Psykers, warrior mystics capable of turning the tide of battle with a single, devastating burst of psychic force. Their presence on the front lines is as feared by their allies as it is by their enemies. Astropaths, blind but enlightened, form the communication lifeline of the Imperium. Through the dangerous art of psychic projection, they send messages across the vast emptiness of space, guided by the Emperor's distant light. Each transmission drains them, burning away years of their life, but without them the Imperium would collapse into isolated, silent darkness. Then there are the Psykers who walk the shadows, those who serve the Inquisition. These individuals wield their abilities with precision, extracting secrets from traitors, sensing the presence of heresy, and rooting out demonic influence. They are invaluable tools in a galaxy where corruption festers in every corner. Above all stand the Grey Knights, the most secret and pure of the Emperor's warriors. Each one a psychic powerhouse, engineered and trained to resist the warp's corruption. Their existence is a closely guarded secret, for they battle foes too terrible for ordinary soldiers to comprehend. These masters of the mind walk paths few dare tread. Their discipline is absolute, their burden immense. Every day they fight not just enemies, but the very nature of the warp itself. Humanity is not alone in wielding psychic power. Across the galaxy, other races tap into the warp in ways utterly foreign, and often superior, to mankind. Each species shapes psychic energy through its own biology, culture, and destiny, creating a tapestry of abilities that rivals and sometimes eclipses those of Imperial Psykers. The Aeldari are the most refined psychic race in existence. Their minds are attuned to the warp with elegance and precision, allowing farcers to bend fate itself. They see futures branching like rivers and choose paths that lead to survival or victory. Warlocks and spirit seers summon controlled psychic might with almost effortless grace, demonstrating a mastery humanity can only dream of. Yet even they walk in constant fear of Slaanesh, the god born from their collective sin. Orcs, on the other hand, wield psychic power in the most chaotic way imaginable. Their collective belief shapes reality, often with absurd results. A mob of orcs might believe a weapon works better because it is painted red, and so it does. Weirdboyz channel this racial psychic field, sometimes releasing devastating energy blasts, other times exploding from the same pressure they attempt to control. Tyranids generate a suffocating phenomenon known as the shadow in the warp. This psychic suppression cripples enemy Psykers, drowning their senses in a choking fog of alien will. Chaos sorcerers, meanwhile, wield psychic power granted directly by the dark gods, trading their souls for unimaginable might. Across the stars, every race uses the warp differently. Psykers are not unique, only humanity's fear of them is. In a galaxy ruled by war and terror, Psykers remain one of the most unpredictable forces. Every world, every ship, every regiment that houses a Psyker faces the same silent truth: they are living weapons that might save thousands, or doom everyone around them. The Imperium relies on their abilities even as it fears the catastrophe they could unleash. It is a delicate, impossible balance, maintained only through constant surveillance, discipline, and sacrifice. For Psykers themselves, life is a perpetual gamble. Each day is spent fighting not only external enemies but the whispers in their own minds. They must control their emotions, their thoughts, and even their dreams, for any slip could open a fissure into the warp. The very thing that grants them power is the same thing that seeks to consume them. Few Psykers live long lives, and fewer still die peacefully. Yet without Psykers, the Imperium would collapse. Communication would cease, warp travel would become impossible, and humanity would be swallowed by the countless horrors lurking in the void. Psykers are the fragile threads that hold together an empire of 1,000,000 worlds. Across the galaxy, psychic power decides wars, shapes destinies, and alters the balance between species. Every Psyker is a story waiting to unfold, some heroic, some tragic, some catastrophic. In the end, being a Psyker means walking a path no sane person would choose. It means wielding the power of gods while standing only inches from damnation. In the 41st millennium, there is no greater gift, and no greater curse. In the grim vastness of the 41st millennium, where every sunrise might be a world's last, Psykers stand as living contradictions, fragile mortals who touch the power of gods. Their existence is a reminder that the galaxy is not shaped only by steel, fire, and armies, but by the unseen currents of the mind and the terrifying energy of the warp. They did not choose their fate, yet they carry burdens heavier than any soldier's armor. With every breath, they risk drawing the gaze of entities older than history itself. With every thought, they balance between brilliance and annihilation. And still, humanity depends on them, needs them, to survive another day in a universe drowning in darkness. For all the terror they inspire, Psykers are also symbols of possibility. A single psychic spark can save a fleet, turn the tide of a hopeless battle, or reveal truths buried beneath layers of fear and secrecy. Across the stars, other races wield their own forms of psychic mastery, proving that this strange connection to the warp is more than a curse, it is a force that shapes destiny. But only humanity treats its Psykers with such equal parts reverence and dread, knowing too well what a mind can unleash when pushed past its limits. And so, the final question remains hovering in the void. In a galaxy where reality itself can fracture with a single stray thought, would you dare open your mind to the warp? To be a Psyker is to walk a path of infinite potential and infinite danger, forever one heartbeat away from either salvation, or oblivion.